Thank you, Trey and Bonnie and Jerry and Mel. Welcome, everybody. Am I on, Al? I completely forgot to get mic'd up today, so getting back into routine here. It's so good to see all of you this morning as we continue in our series of Daring to Dance Again. We have this week and next left, and then this series comes to a close. But we're talking about these ideas of being willing to dance in life no matter what is happening. To be honest, real about what is happening, but to recognize that no matter what is happening, we can dare to dance again. And the umbrellas is our reminder that even if it's raining, we have the cover of different protections. We have the cover of the prayer protection, our faith protection, our love protection, our understanding protection, that power and presence that is God that is within us protection. And that's what allows us to dance the dance no matter what is happening in the world. So today we're talking about dancing sure. And I don't know, how many of you, when you're dancing, dance sure? Like you're so confident in the way that you're dancing, right? I mean, there may be some people that for that is the case, but I know for me it hasn't been. You know, I'm self-conscious as everybody when I'm up there dancing. So back a few years ago in my family, we had a family wedding going on, and knowing that, you know, everybody has different levels of comfort with the dance, we decided to come up with dance steps. Now, some we had seen and some we just made up, right? And the reason was if you had this dance step that we could yell out, then everybody would be sure in the way that they're dancing, right? So there's the sprinkler, right? You can make that work with whatever dance it may be. You know, there's the grocery shopping, right? And then Zoe was a baby at this time, so there was the rocking the baby, right? I mean, you can make a dance step out of anything. And in the process, make it look like, I know what I'm doing. Quick, do the sprinkler. But in life, as I said last week, it's very rare that we have this cookie cutter formula that I can give to each one of you and say, there, here, dance this way, and you can be sure in your steps. Because in the outer of what's happening, I mean, each situation calls for something different, something new from within us. And so Unity doesn't have this cookie cutter approach. Come to church and you'll be fine. Don't miss a Sunday. You'll be okay. Right? It's come and learn and accept and grow and transform and allow yourself to be moved. And in that way, with experience, you and I will become sure in our steps. We will be dancing sure. But in the process, we have lots of give and takes, lots of back and forth, lots of whatever as we're dancing together. And that's not just true for our time. I think that's been true for all time of humanity. And so for my scripture today that I want to share, this is coming from the first letter of John. And I'm going to read from the 3rd chapter, but before I get there, I want to share with you that the reason for this letter from John, it was going out to the community because there was argument within the community about what Jesus was and who he was. And so within that community that had grown after Jesus' crucifixion and whatever the resurrection was, there was argument. Who was he? What did happen there? And you'd think that, well, that would have been clear, except that even if we go back to the Gospel of Luke and the disciples who were up in the upper room and they were afraid because they had watched Jesus crucified, when Jesus showed up there and showed them his wounds and said, here I am, they were still, if you look in the Gospel of Luke, unbelieving. They saw him and they were still not sure. So is it any wonder, you know, that a few years later, as this letter is written that the community was still unsure. Is it any wonder that 2,000 years later, we within spiritual community are still asking these same questions? What is that story for us? How does it speak to me? How does it help me to dance more surely through life? What is the important pieces and parts there? And so from that perspective, this letter is being written to that community at that time where there's been argument and people have left. That ever happen? Yes. So the first chapter of that first letter is a reminder to that community that God is light. God is light. And if you follow the light, then you will be the light. You won't sin. You will be the light. And the second chapter tells us that God is love. And if you are born of God, then you love. Here's how they'll know. If you are light and you are love, that's how they'll know that you are the disciple of this way that Jesus came to show us. So those were the first two chapters of this letter. The third chapter, which is what I'm reading from, says this: see what love the Holy One has given us, that we should be called children of God. It's been given. It's not a someday given. It's not a if I do this right given. It's been given. See what love the Holy One has given us. Remember, God is love. And that is what we are, the letter goes on to tell us. That is what you and I are. We are love. The reason the world does not know us is that we do not know Him. Now let's just stop with that line right there. You know, this call to that community at that time to dance surely, this dance of togetherness and community, and to know that you are light and you are love and you are called to live that example, but the world doesn't know it because they don't see that in us. Is it because we haven't been dancing the dance of light and love that they don't see that in us? Or is it because we've been dancing the dance of light and love and the world just doesn't see it that way? I don't know which way it is here, but I can see that it could go either way, right? Beloved, we are God's children. When? When are we God's beloved? Now. We're told that right here in Scripture. We are God's children now. The idea that we have to do something to be saved, to be with that God, is an illusion. We're told this in Scripture. Now we are God's children. Now we are loved by God. What we will be has not yet been revealed. What we do know is this: when He is revealed, we will be like Him. There's our hope. There's our way of knowing that we are dancing surely. How will we know that we are dancing surely? Because we are dancing like Christ. We are dancing in love. We are dancing in understanding. We are dancing in wisdom. We are dancing in forgiveness. We are dancing in peace. We are dancing in community. We are drawing to each other, not pushing each other apart. Then it will be revealed. Oh, I know who you are. I know who you are. You're the Christ. I see it. I see it in the way that you're loving one another, and I see it in the way that you're accepting one another, in the way that you're uniting and not dividing one another. And all who have this hope in Him purify themselves, just as He is pure. Purify ourselves. What is it that you and I are called to purify ourselves from? Negativity. Error thoughts. What are you purifying yourself from? Judgment. Joe? Malevolence. Yeah. Yes, Diane. Materialism. What are you purifying yourself from? What is it within you that you need to release and let go of so you can dance more surely this dance of love and light together, that we have been called to dance together because we are the children of God and we are here to reveal the kingdom of heaven here on earth. That's what our faith is calling forth from within us. Now, the idea that faith means that we know is an interesting concept. Now, think about how many times arguments and wars have been fought because of faith, because of what we thought we knew about God, about living with one another, about life here on earth. Those ideas that we held and grasped so firmly because we knew. Is that faith? Because faith is about not knowing. I mean, if we knew, we wouldn't have to have faith. Is that not true? So rather than faith being the opposite of questioning, I think faith is actually being willing to live in the question. To be willing to say, I don't know, but I'm ready to find out. To take these ideas and practices and principles and live into them in a faithful way. So to me, faith isn't God is this. Everybody got that? And you are this. Y'all got that? Now go and be the light. That's not faith. Faith is our actual taking it on, living into it, and having an experience that transforms our life because we are being light and love expressing. And in the process, there may be a lot that we don't know. There may be a lot of questions that we have. There may be a lot of mystery that we're walking through. Here in Unity, when we say we place our faith in the truth, you might ask, so what is the truth? Charles Fillmore, in Christian Healing, gives us these 4 points about what is truth. Number 1, that God is principle, law, being, mind, spirit, all good, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, unchangeable, creator, father, cause, source of all that is. We're invited to stand in faith of this greater something that we may not fully be able to define, that I may not be able to go, here, Jim, here's the proof that this is God. If we had that, it wouldn't require faith. But through the activity of my life, through the living of my life, through the centering in every moment that I remember that God is here and that God is this, I can then move on to the next truth, which is that God is individually formed in consciousness in each of us and is known to us when we recognize Him within us as our Creator, as our mind, as our life, as our very being. Imagine that, taking that in, fully, completely recognizing and realizing this. God is the only power that is, and I am that. I have that within me. And now how am I going to dance with that? Well, the third point that Charles tells us is that mind has ideas and that ideas have expression and that all manifestation in our world is the result of the ideas that we are holding in mind and expressing. What idea are you holding in your mind today? What idea are you giving life to today? What idea have you placed your faith in today? Is it an idea of love and light, or is it an idea of fear and separation? What is your idea placed on? The problem, the possibility? Where have you placed your mind? And so in faith, dancing surely, anytime that I recognize and realize, wait a minute, that idea doesn't seem right. Error thought, I think Shannon said. I come back into the dance and step surely into the remembering that God is here and God is in me, and that as I hold my mind on that, my life transforms before me. The fourth point of truth that Charles brings out is to bring forth or to manifest the harmony of divine mind or the kingdom of heaven. All our ideas must be one with divine ideas and must be expressed in the divine order of divine mind. All your ideas, all my ideas are divine ideas. That's where they originate, in divine mind consciousness. And when we are open and receptive to them, we will receive them in their purity if we don't talk ourselves out of them. And where are we dancing surely in our faith? Now, what I've come to realize and recognize for myself is that does not mean that I can see clearly and know exactly how I'm going to get there. Now, I might know a step or two, but beyond that, it might be a mystery. I may not have any idea. And yet, I remember that God is here. I am within God. I have beautiful divine ideas. I bring them forth into expression, step by step, surely dancing with that divine Christ spirit that is within me. And in that dance, what will be revealed is light and love. Dancing surely to this dance doesn't mean we have all the answers. Dancing surely to this dance doesn't mean we know all the steps. Dancing surely in this dance of life means that we have placed our faith on the absolute knowing that God is here. Do you know that? Do you live that? Do you dance surely to that? I have this big mystery coming up. It's going to begin August 1st. I'm dancing surely into that big mystery, but I have no clue where I will be at that side of the mystery. Now, some people want to help me to figure that out. You know, I've had somebody say, I help people through astrology to know what their next life plan is, and I'd love to support you so you can dance surely into this next part of your life. And maybe you have someone in your life that you have this idea and they want to help you to get that idea out. And they might think that they know the way. And they might want to make sure that you know that they know how to help you. And while I'm grateful, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for that. What I absolutely knew for me was that part of it is to be willing to step into the mystery of the not knowing. That Sunday that we made the announcement here that my final week was going to be at the end of July, I was home that afternoon thinking to myself, this is the first time in my life that I am stepping into something that I don't know what it is. Any other time, I have let one thing go, knowing what the next thing was going to be. And sitting on this side of it, I think to myself, will I get 6 months out and think, why did I let that go? So how do I dance surely through this time? It's knowing without a shadow of a doubt in my mind that that's a part of the process, the not knowing. As human beings, we want to know. We want to know all the pieces. We want to know all the parts. We want to know all the ways. And faith invites us to the not knowing, to the stepping into the mystery, and to the dancing surely through that by remembering these four things. God's here. God's in me. I am connected to that divine mind consciousness and can receive those divine ideas. And when I do, I can just dance the dance and bring them forth into expression. That's enough to know. That's enough to know. And that's where my faith has brought me to this day. And now we as a community get to step forth in faith. Because as a community, we don't know what's going to happen August 1st as far as leadership here. We have leadership, by the way, so we do know. Our board is here. They're doing a great job. Right? Plans are being made. That's all in place. But who it will be and when it will be and how it will be, guess what? We don't know. We can drive ourselves crazy with that. We can say we need to know. How many resumes did we get this week, Greg? Who's applying? What is that search team doing? Are they on the ball? Or can we take a breath? And remember, we're going to dance surely through this. We're going to dance this dance. Remember that, of course, in divine mind consciousness, of which we as community are a part, there is a perfect divine idea for this community and this moment, and we have faith in that, and all we need to do is hold that possibility together. And then listen, what's mine to do in any given moment? Your first opportunity is coming up, the end of May. An opportunity to listen to one another. For those listening circles, who signed up for one of those? Great, so for those of you who haven't, that are wondering how do you help your community to dance surely through this mystery of this dance, your job is to go and register for one of those listening circles. Because you together, we together, are dancing surely through this. And it takes every one of us to say yes. To say yes. And it's not easy. And sometimes it's scary. But it's so good when you can give yourself over to that flow and that life and that light and that love and say, show me how, guide my steps. That was last week. Because when God is guiding our steps, we can dance surely in any given moment without knowing fully and completely where the dance is leading. How many of you, like me, need to continue to practice this? Yeah. By the way, I've been introducing an individual each week that represents this, and this individual that came up this week was Langston Hughes. How many of you know Langston Hughes? Yeah. So he was a black poet, born in the early 1900s. Died in, I think, 1965, so died before the whole civil rights movement completely unfolded, right? And he wrote about dreaming and holding fast to dreams. Hold fast to dreams, he says, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Hold fast to dreams. Hold fast to those visions, to those ideas. Hold fast, but understand and recognizing in the holding fast that the way will be revealed step by step as we listen, connect, and live from that loving light that is within us. So let me see if I put the practice in here. Oh, no. No, darn. I'm going to have them put it up on the screen. You guys got the practice? Can you put it up on the screen? We'll wait. There we are. We are like Jesus. Say that. I'm like Jesus. Can you say that? I'm like Jesus. For some, that's hard to say, so there's our first step of dancing surely, to be able to say that. I'm like Jesus, living in the example he set, as we live in the assurance that God is here, moving in, through, and as each of us, each time, we make the choice for love. Remember those first two chapters? I am light, I am love. How will we know that we are Christ? We are light, we are love. How can you be a witness for love this week? In what ways are you being called to stretch into that new understanding that you are love? You will dance surely as you live this dance of light and love. You will dance surely as you know that the God that is love is also the God that is in you, guiding your steps. So affirm throughout your week, God is love, I am love. Say that with me. God is love, I am love. Look at someone sitting next to you. God is love, you are love. God is love, we are love. All right, so we have to take some loving action this week. Dancing sure in that knowledge that God's guiding our way. Who's with me? Yes. Yes. Don't give up your dream. Hold fast. And then dance through your dream, knowing God is your dance partner. And you're not alone. Dance surely in light and love. Thank you, and God bless. I turned around and saw the umbrellas. All right, so our series is done next week, and these umbrellas were for that series. So the divine idea came and arrived by someone in the community that said, I'd love to have one of those umbrellas. Could we raffle them off? So next Sunday, we will do that. We'll raffle off those umbrellas. Whoever's name is pulled out first will get first choice if you're here, and one by one we'll claim those umbrellas. So on the back table, you'll see 2 green bins, and you'll see some raffle tickets by it. The raffle tickets are $1 a piece, 10 for $5. It's going to be self-serve. There are some strips of 10 there. If you'd like to buy 10, take your half, leave the other half in the other green bucket, leave your money in your other green bucket, and we'll make this work together. And we'll draw next Sunday.